You are listening to SOAPBOX Daily, episode 192, the podcast that deals with your everyday trials and tribulations in life. And today we are going to discuss problems with the North American education system. Hey, I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thank you very much for tuning in today for this terrific Thursday. And we're one day closer to the weekend. And how has your week been? How's your integrity been this week? Are you doing the right thing when no one else is watching? Are you making a positive change to make a positive change in the world? Only you will know onwards and upwards. So as I go about my everyday with all my responsibilities and everything else I need to do, I notice a few things when it comes to the world, and I notice about the decision-making processes of other people around me, and it makes me really wonder, how do people get so daft, as the English would put it, or moronic, or why do they make such really rash and foolish decisions? Whether it comes from everything from stupidity, such as not knowing how to use a turn signal, I always pick on the driving stuff because it's right in your face with how much driving I do and how many cars are on the road. If it's not moronic stupidity when it comes to driving, it's just seeing the interactions, social interactions, the decision-making processes of certain things that people do. And the only thing I can think of, it has to do with the education system. I think we've completely failed in the education system to help people with logical thought processes to make the logical and right decisions. And I'll tell you, off the top of my head, in my research of what I figured out, there are several problems with the North American education system, which vary by region and level of education, but some of the most common issues are what we're going to discuss today. And I think this is something that we need to take note. Government officials need to take note, and we as citizens need to take note. This is stuff that needs to be addressed, because if this is not corrected at the education level, from your early childhood, kindergarten, into your primary school, and then into the later education system, then people are going to continue to make really foolish decisions in every aspect of life, not just driving, but in other aspects of life. And we really need to make sure that our population, citizens of this planet, are better educated. And everybody gets education in order to make good decisions. Good decision-making processes mean productive citizens, less crime, less hate, less destruction of ourselves and the planet. So let's work on the education. So here are some most common issues with the education system. And we're going to go over some 7 points to wrap this up for today. And this will be our show today. So number 1, inequality. There is a significant achievement gap between students of different social economic backgrounds, with low income and minority students often receiving a lower quality education and having less access to resources and opportunities. Number 2, standardized testing. The emphasis on standardized testing can lead to a narrow focus on rote learning and test-taking strategies rather than critical thinking and creativity. Number 3, funding. Many schools, particularly those in low-income areas, are underfunded and lack the resources necessary to provide a high-quality education. Number 4, teacher shortages. There is a shortage of qualified teachers in many areas, particularly in fields like science and math, which can lead to larger class sizes and a lower quality of education. Number 5, college affordability. Being able to afford college is insane. It's like a mortgage. The rising costs of higher education has made it increasingly difficult for many students to afford college, which can limit their future opportunities and exacerbate, I think is the word, speaking about education. I mean, it inflates the inequality. Number 6, the, forgive my pronunciation, curriculum issues. There are ongoing debates about what should be included. Basically, I would have to say the agenda, the planning, everything else, with some arguing that it should be more focused on STEM. STEM basically stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it should be focused on STEM fields, while others advocate for a broader education that includes humanities and social sciences. Number 7, lack of student engagement. Many students become disengaged from school due to lack of relevance in their lives or the feeling that they are not being challenged, which can lead to lower academic achievements and higher dropout rates. Overall, these problems reflect broader issues of inequality and access to resources, which can have a profound impact on the future opportunities and well-being of young people growing up, which the young people grow up to be adults, which, if they're uneducated, become ignorant and arrogant and make really bad decisions. So if you deal with it when they're young and provide them the resources when they're young to get the proper education so they can make logical decisions, so they can have the right thought processes to be productive citizens, then the world would be a better place. We need to focus on this. And thank you for your patience for my pronunciations because big words are scary. I've never been one for the big fancy, words, especially in Latin. Thank you very much for your understanding with that. As far as education goes, and yes, I could probably use some more myself because you should never stop learning. It is important, and it is important that we give them the tools when they're young to be able to develop into productive adults moving forward. That is my message for today. Yes, there's lots of problems with the North American education system, and it might be in other parts of the world, not just blaming North America, not just saying North America is the issue, but there's a lot of ignorance I've noticed over the last 10, 20 years, and not across the board, but in certain areas of the North American education system. And that stems into adulthood and you see in society. And it's just pathetic. It really is, and needs fixing. So government officials, people that make decisions, put more money into and resources into the education system. It's important. All right. I'm your host, Matt Morgan. Thank you very much for tuning in today for today's episode. Hey, if you're sitting back today and got nothing better to do, please check out themadmorgan.com, themadmorgan.com. We're down to the last dime of time when it comes to our last 10 episodes before we take a break. So please check out themadmorgan.com for more information on our podcast and projects from now and into the future. Other than that, I hope you have an amazing day moving forward. Keep your integrity in check, and I will see you next episode.